Hey, it's Inve. I'm here with a video that's a little bit different than what I usually do. I'm going to be talking about me trying to figure out how to use this build that I stole from a buddy of mine. This build is supposed to be a defensive build that can kind of play back away from enemies, and then when they get too close, PA bomb and swap to its back weapons for massive damage. Um, I'll very quickly go over the parts and tuning, but this is not an in-depth breakdown of what makes this build go together. At some point I may do that, but that is not this video. So for the arms, we've got the Mr. R102 and the Labiata. For the back, we have the Sapla and the MPO 203. We have the Goyandere 4 flares. For the head, we have Ekazar, core we have Lancel, arms we have Ekazar, and legs we have Alaya. We're using the Judith FCS as a lot of close to mid-range builds will, and Linstant Generator, which is kind of a challenging point for me as I'm much more used to the high output that Sombrero provides. However, this build relies on its KP output a lot to get your PA bomb back after PA bombing. We'll get to that in a moment. We're using a pretty standard booster setup with Alea, Latona, Shadar, and then as far as overboost, we are using Rigel Assault Booster. Um, if you're not aware of Assault Armor, you can hold down both switch buttons and your overboost button while using an Assault Armor equipped Overed Booster to explode your PA and explode the enemy shield. I am not good at this. So my goal has been to learn how to play this build for a little bit recently. Um, I'm hoping I can make that happen, but for the moment I'm a little rough around the edges. So we're going to be going over some footage that I took tonight of me trying to play this build in PvP. And yeah, we're just going to talk about some of the mistakes that I make tonight that lead to me losing. We're going to take a look at, I believe, 3 or 4 matches here. We'll see how many we get to. So in this first one, it is me versus a quad. Um, at this point, I'm not familiar enough with the build, and I end up going in a little bit harder than I probably should for a relatively defense-oriented build. And I do go in for a PA bomb there, but right before I do it, I end up missing the input and popping my overboost. Right here, I think the PA bomb is a little bit too far away from the enemy because they don't end up taking damage from it, they just end up losing their PA. However, they are at a lead AP-wise, so it isn't really a benefit to me if we're both down PA. Then I end up taking a grenade to the face while I'm stripped. So from there, we'll just move on to the next match. Main mistakes I made here were poor energy management. You can see my bars down here. I'm not leaning back enough on my boosters. I'm not letting go of my left stick enough in between quick boosts, or feathering my trigger, or really second staging well enough. So I'm chewing through more energy than I probably should. Another big mistake I think is excessive aggression. And then the biggest one, which I just replayed right there, is missing my assault armor input. Alright, so that side, we're going to move on to the next match and see what mistakes happened here. So immediately we're starting the match with some similar issues where I think I might be going in a little bit too hard on an opponent that has a build that's probably better suited for close range than me. However, in this case, I am able to hit a PA bomb on the enemy without as much issue. One thing I notice is that I think that I switch from my rifles to my back weapons a little too slowly. where if I had shot more quickly here, I probably could have done more damage while they were still stunned. Instead, I end up just firing rifles at them. I'm also having trouble remembering to let go of L2 during combat situations. I notice here on my controller overlay. And then, let's see, so had the PA bomb, but I'm unable to keep him in my log. And while he was in my log, I didn't hit him with high damage weapons, which are two kind of big ones. Once again, on the ground a little bit too much, although this time it's because I was trying to hit a PA bomb. And I'm pretty sure I take a grenade to the face here. Yep, that was a grenade to the face. So this one I'm doing a little bit better on energy management. You can see that bar is a little bit more consistently up there. However, I think my PA bomb was still a little bit too far away from the enemy to do proper damage. It just kind of stripped PA, and I didn't swap off of my rifles fast enough to actually use my back weapons. Also, at the end of the match, I accidentally dropped my right arm's rifle instead of my sapla, and that didn't end up mattering that much because I died right after, but still was a misinput, so I figured I should mention it. So we'll move on to the next match. In this case, I'm able to maintain a decent lock, so that's fine. The enemy uses their PA bomb too far away from me, which is great for me, but they end up landing a grenade. My grenades are not landing on them, unfortunately, as I'm firing at a strafing target, which isn't always a great idea in this game. It also looks like I'm pretty much just holding R1 down and mashing it, which is not amazing with a 6-shot weapon. So that's definitely something that could be improved upon. Energy management is better, but once again there I do fat finger the overboost when I'm just trying to PA bomb. In this case, it works to my advantage, and it looks intentional, but I assure you, that was an accident. Still though, it did get me in close enough to actually do damage with the PA bomb, and I was able to pull the missiles out and get some good damage on the enemy. This actually, I think, leads to me getting a kill. So yeah, we managed to get a kill with our missiles there, and I think that is actually going to wrap up the matches that we talk about today. So I think my main issues were pretty much energy management, being overly aggressive for what the build is built for, poor spacing on my PA bonds, and poor reaction to actually landing a PA bomb. For example, if I do land them, I don't necessarily capitalize on it by following up with my strongest weapons, because I'm still a little inexperienced in that field. I think I've definitely got a path to improve on for this. If you feel like this helped you understand the mechanics of the game more, or you enjoyed laughing at my poor gameplay, please leave a sub. When I get to 1,000, I get paid, and I like money. Play the game. That's it.